students, welcome to online classes. This is class 7th, Unit 2, Wanderlust, Section 1, The Quest for El Dorado, Presentation 7. Now the story starts. This story is about city named El Dorado. It was a promise of wealth beyond measure that lured the explorer. The meaning of lured is to get attracted or tempted. It was the city of El Dorado, which was known for its wealth, for its richness, and so explorers got attracted and tempted to find that place. They traveled to seek out El Dorado, the mythical city of gold that was supposedly located in the unexplored interior of South America. So the explorer wanted to locate this place, which was located in some area of South America, which was unexplored till now. Unexplored means nobody could actually reach there. El Dorado was believed to be unimaginary rich with dazzling gold paved streets, golden temple, and rich mines of gold and silver. So it was told that in that city, roads were made up of gold, temples were made up of gold, and there were mines of gold and silver. So this city was said to be very rich city. So that the streets were made with the temple were made up of gold. Everything was made up of gold. It was said that there were many fanciful tales about the mighty city where billets of gold lay about in heaps as they were logs of wood marked out to burn. So here the meaning of billets is bar. So while traveling, you must have seen the logs are kept in heap. So villagers used to keep it because they use it as a fuel. But in that imaginary city El Dorado, golden bars were kept in heaps. So you imagine how much rich it was? Between 1530 and 1650 AD, thousands of Europeans searched the jungles, plains, mountains, and rivers of South America for El Dorado. So this was the time many people searched for this city, El Dorado, the place El Dorado, and mostly the Europeans started to search in the jungles, plains, mountains, and rivers because they were not knowing the exact place where it is located. So European who went out and they went to South America, they searched in the jungles, plains, mountains, everywhere. They tried to search South America so that they can get the glimpse of the city and even they will get some wealth also. Their expedition would begin typically in the town on the Spanish coast. A charismatic and influential individual would announce his intention to go forth in search of the fabled wealth of El Dorado. Fabled wealth means people had heard about only in the stories. They didn't have the exact evidences of this place. So this journey began from the town on the Spanish coast. A charismatic and influential individual would announce his intention to go forth in search of fabled wealth of El Dorado. Means when one person said that I'll go for this expedition, after listening too much about its wealth, one by one, other also started. So in this way, they made the troop. So one person started, others followed that group. So anywhere from 100 to 700 Europeans, mostly Spaniards, would sign up, bringing their own armors, weapons, and horses. At times, they would take livestock to slaughter and eat along the way. So the troop was made, and in that troop, 100 to 700 Europeans were there. In those Europeans, mostly the Spaniards, means the people who live in Spain. So Spaniards were there, and they started their journey. They took their armor, they took their weapons, they took their horses because they were not knowing how many difficulties they will face on the way. At times, would take livestock to slaughter and eat along the way. Here, the livestock means they used to bring the animals with them. If their food stock will be over, they will kill those animals and they will eat those animals. So, they took their armors, weapons to fight with the enemies or fight with the difficulties, and they took the live animals also for their food. Here, hard words are charismatic, means attractive and impressive. Spaniards means a native or inhabitant of Spain. So, fighting dogs were always brought along as they were useful when fighting the indigenous population of the continent. As here we are talking about the continent, means South America. So, when they started their journey, they kept the fighting dogs with them because if they will have any problem, they will use fighting dogs. Fighting dogs will attack on their enemy. So in this way, they took the fighting dogs. Here, indigenous means belong to a particular place or native to. Because when this type of troops they go in search of that El Dorado, the inhabitant of that particular place, they used to fight with them. Once on South American soil, the expedition would head off into the jungle and would last any length of time. So here, as we were talking about the troop, means European troops, whenever they come to search the city El Dorado, so the indigenous population of the continent means the inhabitant, means the people belong to that particular place, they used to attack on them. Once on South American soil, the expedition would head off into the jungle and would last any length of time from a few months to few years. Means sometimes those when they come to South America in search of the El Dorado, because they were not knowing the exact place, so they searched in jungle, they searched in plains, they searched everywhere, and sometimes they pass few months, sometime this month turn into years, means how much long time they spend in search of that particular place, means for that expedition, and their expedition was search of El Dorado. On the way these explorers would meet native inhabitants, people those who belong to that particular place, means they have come to American soil. So here we are talking about the South American people. So on the way, these explorers would meet native inhabitants who would be either tortured or plied with gift in pursuit of information. So when European troops come to search the city El Dorado, they want the information. Information about what? About the El Dorado, the way from where they will go to that place, from where they will reach to that place. So for that, sometime they threaten the inhabitants, the people, those who belong to that particular place. The aim of that threatening was get the information. Or sometimes they plied with gift. Plied with gift means they give something to someone for what? For getting something from them. Means in place of giving the gift, they want some information. So in this way, they were getting the information from the inhabitants of that place. The natives would point in any direction and send them on their way, having learned that it was the best way to get rid of these rude and violent men. Natives would point in any direction means sometimes native guide the that troop in wrong way. Why in wrong way? Because when they were not giving information, they were rude with them. So they were thinking if we will tell them the wrong way, then we will get rid of them. Then we will free from them. These violent men will not come here again. Meanwhile, illness, desertion, and attack would whittle down the expedition. Means starting the natives would point in any direction and send them on their way, having learned that it was the best way to get rid of these rude and violent men. Natives would point in any direction means sometimes native guide that troop in wrong way. Why in wrong way? Because when they were not giving information, they were rude with them. So they were thinking if we will tell them the wrong way, then we will get rid of them. Then we will free from them and these violent men will not come here again. Meanwhile, illness, desertion, and attack would whittle down the expedition. Means starting, they were more in numbers, but meanwhile, due to illness, desertion means an act of leaving without permission, and attacks would whittle down the expedition. Here, attacks means attacked by the people, those who belong to that particular place. They attacked on the troops. Sometimes they were ill. So, these illness, attack, and few people left the group without permission. So, these all the problems. Whittle down means reduce the number, means they reduce the number of the group members. Nevertheless, the expedition proved surprisingly. Nevertheless, the expeditions proved surprisingly resilient, braving mosquito-infested swamps, angry native, blazing heat on the plains, flooded rivers, and dangerous mountains passes. Eventually, their number dwindled or the leader died. The expedition would give up and return home. So here, resilient means that they were so strong that they were ready to fight with all the problems. So whatever problems they faced, it might be swamps of infested place. So there would be lot many of mosquitoes there, and they have to live there or spend the night there. But they have to face that angry native people would have attacked on them. There would be lot of scorching heat on the plains. There would be flooded river. Whatever problems they have come across, they have faced them strongly. Eventually, when their numbers dwindled or the leader died, the expedition would give up and return home. But what happened? Their number decreased, and at last leader also died. So if leader will be not there, who will guide them? So at last they left their expedition and they returned home. So as we discussed earlier that many troops went in search of El Dorado, but till now nobody was success. So nobody succeeded. On the Spanish adventurers, the most persistent was a bold explorer named Antonio de Bari. Now, a man who was a Spanish adventurer, his name was Antonio de Barrio. He set out with 700 horsemen. But the route was difficult and exhausting. This man, Antonio Di Barrio, he was very bold, very brave man. So he also set out his quest for El Dorado with 700 horsemen. But the route was very difficult, as we did earlier also, and exhausting means tiring. And natives usually hostile, and many of men and horses died or were slain here. Hostile means unfriendly. They were not friendly with them. Route was difficult, they were tired, and natives, those who belonged to that particular place, were unfriendly with them. And many of men and horses died, were slain, and many horses and men they were also died. The surviving men were so weary, and those who were left, those who were alive, they were very tired and eager to return home. They wanted to go back to their home. So, what Antonio Di Barrio will do again alone? So, and Barrio was forced to give up his quest. So, he left his expedition forcefully. He then settled on the island of Trinidad as governor. But he did not come back to his home, he did not return to his home. He settled on the island of Trinidad as governor. So, this was the story, children. This is the first part of the story. So, in the second part, we will see. Okay, we will see. Is there anyone who could reach to the city El Dorado? So, we'll see that in next video. So, thank you.